If you knew that that was the case, then why didn't he put Saudi Arabia?
What's wrong with protecting?
You see, the NPC script just broke again. Oh, that's crazy. But he admitted that he was wrong. He admitted that he would be unhappy if he did exercise a ban on Saudi Arabia. And then he just repeated the line again. They don't know how to think. They don't contend with ideas because objective reality isn't a priority to them. Only adherence to Marxism. This is ridiculous. This professor is probably one of the most quintessential embodiments of what it means to be on the left. Just denying reality, unable to think, replacing groupthink, hive mind, I guess you could call it neuroticism, emotionality, in replacement for actually adhering to what truth is. We're dealing with a sick population. Check this out.
I'm around. You have more Hispanics voted for the Republican than before. So it wasn't just white people.
The majority of the voters were working class white.
Right, but still there were other...
Yeah, there was other groups.
Right, and so why are you not mentioning them?
Well, look at this guy. This is... Okay. I'm not the type of person that only focuses on physical appearance. We're going to get to the ideas in a second, but we can't ignore the fact that almost without fail, if not 100% of the time, these leftists are physically destroyed. They don't go to the gym. They don't take care of themselves. I mean, put it this way. It's very easy to understand why they would be triggered by an alpha male, tall billionaire, whether that be Trump or Andrew Tate. The archetype for these leftists is always the same. Physically destroyed, weak, resentful, soy.
I did mention them in my article, but the point with Trump is that he was very inflammatory. He was very offensive.
Jesse Lee Peterson, the guy interviewing this guy, has a cool strategy where he basically gets random people from like university professors or activists, etc., and just interviews them to expose to the world how these common people think. This is just basically a random professor who's written a few articles about Trump and got contacted by this guy.
To many groups.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Well, he
was very offensive to many groups.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Well, he was offensive to the guy.
Notice how they never expect to be challenged on the statements that they make. For instance, he's very offensive to many groups. They don't expect you to say, no, he wasn't, when they say something like that, because they've already been living in a sphere where to disagree with the left-wing ideology, to disagree with somebody saying essentially orange man bad, is to be a bad person. If you were to disagree with any leftist position, you're immediately a bad person, and so they never get challenged. If you notice his facial expression when he gets challenged there, he's not ready for it because he's not prepared to contend with ideas. He's only prepared to engage with the counterfeit frameworks of inverted intersectionalist hierarchies.
Offensive to many groups.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Well, he was offensive to the godless group, the children of the lie, you know, and the reason that he told the truth and those people hate the truth. You know, the radical homosexuals, the Black Lives Matter.
Leftists are not prepared to engage with people who just disagree with them so fearlessly, because it invalidates much more than their argument. It invalidates the underlying ethos that they operate from, which is we are by default the good guys. And when you basically say, I don't care, I'm willing to disagree with you, I'm willing to say, no, what you just said is not true, he's actually not offensive. Actually, he has the highest amount of support of any Republican ever for blacks and Hispanics, etc. He had more blacks voting for him than Hillary Clinton, etc. Then they're like, okay, wait a second. Not only is he disagreeing with me, but he's not pretending as though I'm by default a good person for just saying these things.
Well, he was offensive to the godless group, the children of the lie, you know, and the reason that he told the truth and those people hate the truth. You know, the radical homosexuals, the Black Lives Matter, the feminists who hate men, Planned Parenthood who are killing the unborn child, selling the body parts for profit, the Latinos who hate white folks.
Bro, when you just confront them with reality, they shatter. They're not prepared for this. They're never prepared to debate.
You know, he was offensive to them because he told them the truth.
Their ideology is not built on ideas. It's built on blind adherence, because adherence is what grants you good person status.
Spoke up to them. He dealt with them, and they've never had that before. They've never had a real man to stand up and deal with them.
Right, to stand up and say, no, we're not going to make the world in the image of your feminine neuroticism. You know, the liberal women that have that same haircut, it's curly hair, like down to their shoulders, and they're like 55 or 60, and they're convinced that they're good people, and they're college professors, they're Karens, moms, whatever, and they've been preyed on by the resentment of Marxism. So at this point, they're purely Marxist, they're purely socialist, they're definitely anti-capitalist. I saw a couple of these women at the college I went to. Their entire lives revolve around appeasing the victimhood hierarchies by saying, oh, you're victimized, you must be a good person, and then they get a little bit of virtue. They get a little shot of, oh, I'm a good person, and that's how their entire lives operate. These types of women and the people that agree with them have gone off the rails in the image of their feminine neuroticism. They are completely uninterested in engaging in academia or objective frameworks. They don't actually study to understand truth or a field's relationship with reality. If they did, they would immediately realize, okay, I'm expressing neuroticism here. What I'm saying is completely insane. But this is, women I don't think are actually capable of that, which is the reason why they need men. But when these neurotic feminine personalities that are gripped by the resentment of Marxism meet a masculine billionaire, it's like running into, it's more than running into a brick wall. It's more than even being reminded that your entire ideology is a lie. But it's definitely both those things. You're essentially living in a delusion, pretending as though you're a good person every single time you adhere to the ideology that says if you're a part of this class or group, you're victimized, and you adhere to that constantly. You pretend as though capitalism is bad. You pretend as though objective frameworks are oppression. You're telling yourself essentially inordinate lies about reality. Every single thing you tell yourself is a lie designed to be the antithesis of morality, objective truth, studied science, objective academia fields, biology, the list goes on. And then a walking embodiment of reality, such as a masculine billionaire, comes across your field of view. He's essentially the antichrist to you, right? Because he embodies capitalism, he embodies impressiveness, he can't be swayed by your opinion, he's masculine, so men want to be him, men look up to him, he's a billionaire, right? He says what he wants, he doesn't go along with your ideology, and he's not controllable. Oh, and he doesn't buy into the fake parameters of your ideology. To a leftist, that's like meeting the Antichrist. And so those Planned Parenthood types, the feminist types that are taught to hate men and hate all objective frameworks, that's the reason why they're so deranged, guys. It's not just that he tweets mean things. It's that he is an embodiment of how they're wrong. That's what people should understand. Subscribe if you understand what I'm saying here.
And so, of course, they get angry because they've been spoiled getting their way for so long.
They've been spoiled also just in the echo chambers of their ideology. No one ever disagrees with them. But when somebody disagrees with them, like Jesse Lee Peterson just did, and said, no, actually, black voters do like him because here's the data, and these are all the things wrong with the leftist ideology that they were doing at this time, they have no rebuttal for that. Because that's engaging in objective reality, objective frameworks, curiosity, rationality, rather than just pure adherence to the leftist groupthink.
Well, I don't agree with any of that, but when he says, when Trump says...
Bro, look at this poor guy.
That Mexico is sending their worst.
You notice how every single time he gets corrected, he just moves on to a different topic. He doesn't actually debate. It's because they only have sound bites. They only have positions to repeat, and when they get refuted, that's it. At the beginning of this video, he got owned over the locker room talk soundbite. Completely pathetic. Jesse Lee Peterson basically said, you've talked that way before, haven't you? And then he was forced to admit that he had, because all men have. And what did he do? He didn't acknowledge that. He just moved on to this topic. He just got destroyed on this topic, and what's he doing now? He's moving on to the next topic. Oh, but he said something bad about Mexico. Watch him get destroyed on this too.
There's any rapists, murderers, and criminals. I mean, that's...
There are! Have you not seen the news? Have you not seen the videos going viral every week on X? Oh, another immigrant just killed, or another woman. Like,
to me, he's generalizing, and that's being a racist. That's what he's calling my father, my mother that, and my father's
he didn't call you a father, mother.
And my father's more of a man than Trump. You know, like if he was alive, he.
Oh, it's getting super cringe now, dude. This is leftists trying to cosplay as masculine when their psyches have been thoroughly destroyed at this point. Dude, you're a disappointment to your father.
Now, I even told Trump in my article, I said, if you want to talk, you can talk tough. He doesn't know tough. I mean, how tough was his life? Like, you know, one day the dad took away...
Look at this tiny little pencil of a man trying to be like, Trump's life wasn't hard, he's not impressive. Meanwhile, Trump's a masculine billionaire. Like, it's so brutal. Leftists live lives of such brutal, inane humiliation constantly.
2 nannies, and now he only had 3. I mean, how tough was it? You know, did he ever go to the military? What did he grow up in?
Did you go to the military?
No, I didn't grow
I
up
was about to ask that. Yeah, did you go to the military?
in military.
I rest my case. But let me ask, was he lying when he said that those type of people were coming across the border as well?
In any group, you're gonna have a minority.
This guy was just pulled out of a random college, probably. You know, he's just a random professor. He's nobody of note. This is indicative of the way they all think, though. They are infected by the woke mind virus that tells them any form of reality is oppression. This is the reason why they write articles saying men who go to the gym are white supremacists. Because going to the gym is a reminder that objective reality exists in the realm of biology. Men are stronger than women, men who get in shape. Shame, by contrast, men and women who do not get in shape, men and women who are fat. So it's an insult to the body positivity movement, which, by the way, hinges around denying reality.
Are you saying that's not happening?
That's not happening in the terms the way he said, because he
But
said
it is happening.
some, but not all.
So it is happening.
Some, but he said he
He
didn't
did
say
not
some.
say all. He
He
named the
Now watch move on to the next topic because he just got owned on this.
type of people
No, he said,
who are...
and some are good.
Right.
And some are good.
Right.
When you say that, that means that the most are bad. So
No, that's what you read.
remember-
No, that doesn't mean that. What? Hello? I'm going to replay that again because he just failed to use English.
All. He
said-
named the type of people
no, he said,
who are...
and some are good.
Right.
And some are good.
Right.
When
You
you
know what's crazy is these people don't even have command of the English language, and they're trying to nitpick somebody else's use of the English language. Isn't that nuts? Oh, Trump emotionally misspoke. Have you listened to the average person or even the above average person speak? I've probably misspoke on this channel before. I leave it in the video. I don't edit it out because I'm being a human. I could do infinite retakes and get everything perfectly, but I'm not going to do that. But people like this, they can only throw stones while being physically destroyed. Again, this guy is criticizing a masculine billionaire who is respected literally by billions of people globally. Billions of people globally, right? So if this was 500 years ago, this would be the guy in the tribe that is weak, soy, can't reproduce because remember, only 40% of men in the genetic record reproduce. So he'd be one of the ones that didn't reproduce. He'd be constantly miserable and, embarrassed, weak, pathetic. But he wouldn't be able to have a platform to say anything because they would just beat him up if he ever said anything. But now they get college professorships and get to teach young people to resent capitalism, hate masculinity, and identify anything that reminds them of objective reality as toxic and oppressive. This is the same human that would sit around the campfire getting upset that all the women wanted to be with Chad instead of him.
you say that, that means that the most are bad. So
No, that's what you read.
I memorized that.
So let's go back to this.
Actually, I have a
So
tattoo on that thing.
he did tell the truth about that happening.
You can say that to any group, and but the problem is that
You're
when
not answering my question. Was he telling the truth that was happening?
Okay, point blank, forcing him to admit that 1 + 1 = 2. Let's see if he can do it.
I'll accept that it happens in all groups.
So he was telling the truth?
He should be a lawyer. It's a truth.
Why should I be a lawyer?
Because you're good at the questions. It's
You're good at the question. She's asking you a direct question. Is what Trump said true?
true.
Oh my gosh, truth is oppression.
I'll accept it in all groups, like in all populations. Like
Let's keep the focus on the people coming across the borders.
The majority-
Was he telling the truth?
No, not-
when he said you have this type of person coming, this type of person, and some good ones. Was he telling the truth?
He wasn't telling the truth because he
But
generalized.
you
He
just
said
agreed that they do have that coming across the borders as
some,
well.
but not all.
So he was telling the
I
truth
think
then.
probably, like, let's say if you have 100 people come over.
Amazing. This is fantastic. This is what you have to do to leftists because you demonstrate that not only is Trump their enemy or agitate their enemy, reality itself is their enemy. They are triggered by objective frameworks because their ideology is built on resentment. For any person asking themselves, why is this happening? That's the reason. The resentment of Marxism, when combined with postmodernism, is against all things coherent and objective. It's against the idea that there are better and worse ways of viewing reality. It's against coherent narratives. It's against true narratives that embody aspects of reality that would judge them.
No, stay
Probably
with
like
me.
one or two.
Stay with me. That was happening, right?
Not the way he phrased it, no.
But it was happening.
What I'm saying is that he generalized.
Was it happening?
Some, not all.
But it was happening.
Yeah, some, yes.
So it was happening.
Some, yes.
You see how hard it is to get them to admit the truth? They create their entire position without going through this thought process. Why do they not go through that thought process? That's what I'm trying to show you. That's the question I'm answering for you here, which is that their ideology actually requires them to be enemies with truth itself, with reality. Their ideology says truth is oppression, objective reality is oppression. That could be biology, that could be science, that could be capitalism, that could be anything that reminds them that something is superordinate above them, that they are accountable to as individuals rather than their ideology. But because Marxism says there's no such thing as an individual identity when it aligns itself with postmodernism, which is a fundamental critique of postmodernism, then you get to situations like this where they aren't interested in what the truth is. They never ask themselves these questions of, did Trump actually ever say that? Oh, wait, he's right? Oh my gosh, well, that's not important to me. I'm just going to say that he's a bad person.
Yes, it was.
It's like we're dealing with toddlers that can't think, but this is, guys, this is en masse. This is people in universities. This is, most people in California and New York.
What's happening?
Some, yes.
So he wasn't lying there.
He was like, because he said all.
He
said
didn't
most.
say all. He didn't say all. He didn't say most. Now you're not being honest. He said, here's what we have coming across the borders.
There goes my chance to be mayor of LA. That's it. This video is going to be used against me in a court of law.
Oh my gosh, bro. He just admitted, that's crazy. He just admitted that he's not going to be able to run for public office in California because he admitted the truth. He's more concerned about that than the fact that he was lying and that his position was incoherent. This is how tyrannies are built. You're seeing it right here. What could possibly be going through this deformed creature's mind?
So he wasn't lying. You called a man a liar. You wouldn't want to be called a liar if you weren't lying.
I'm a liar,
and I'm a little surprised it's coming from the background you've come from.
What a weak human. This is a weak man right here. There are a lot of men like this on the left, a lot. And they're preyed upon by left-wing ideology because they're told that your weakness is actually virtue. Your weakness is indicative of a position in the intersectionalist hierarchy that gives you good person status. And they accept that. They're like, oh, I'm a good person? Yeah, I'm weak and I lie about people, but I must be a good person now because I'm a part of the ideology. All I have to do is sacrifice my individual identity at the altar of resentment. Small price to pay.
I don't have a problem calling him a liar.
But he wasn't lying. He told the truth about that. You just admitted that.
This is incredible. This is actually incredible. This is crazy. This should be studied in history.
I admit that in any group, whether they're Mexicans or Americans.
But he wasn't talking about any group. He was talking about the people crossing the border.
Yes, like the criminals that.
Let's move on. We got it clear that you were lying.
Like the criminals that invaded Iraq. I mean, those are the criminals, not.
What is he talking about here? Oh my God, did the script break in his NPC mind? Oh my God, it just got crosswired. Quickly, talk about Iraq. And oh my God, I was wrong about Trump. Quickly.
Not the criminals that.
No,
that he's talking about.
Let's stay with the point. Yeah.
What is he saying? What is he saying?
I'm glad I finally got you to admit the truth. What do you think about the travel ban that President Trump has on the
the script broke in the NPC's head. Oh man, they are running a code that is an existential threat to humanity.
7 countries.
That's a good question.
What
yes.
Muslims are coming from.
This is part of my problem with Trump. I'm an atheist, and there's no reason why I should be defending Muslims.
We know you're an atheist.
There's no reasons why I should be defending Hindus or Christians or any religious group.
What do you mean? They're humans. What do you mean there's no reason? Okay, yeah, destroyed human psyche. This guy's like deeply nihilistic. What do you mean there's no reason to defend a fellow human? What?
Because I don't believe in any of that. But what I do believe is that I don't think that any group should be singled out that way. I'm against them.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to just explain to you why he's talking this way, because I've been in environments where there are professors like this, and I've seen it. What's going through their head is, I'm going to be called a good person as a result of just disagreeing with saying Trump's a bad person, and people are going to applaud me, and I'm going to get a little dose of virtue. That's how you have really weak, deformed people who believe only things that are wrong and incoherent and the opposite of reality, and they exist in this sort of ecosphere, this bubble called universities, where they become more deranged, more unhinged, more separated from reality, more physically deformed, more mentally deformed, more unable to engage with objective reality in any domain. And then you get people like this. You get creatures like this that come out into the real world and try to run their NPC script and get destroyed.
The ban, it is a Muslim ban.
That's not
during
true.
the campaign, that's
You're
what he
not
said.
telling the truth again. He never called it a Muslim ban. Why are you saying that?
Because in the campaign, that's what he said.
But no, he never called it a Muslim ban. You just said he did. That's not true.
Yeah, he said it in the campaign.
But he didn't call, when he put the ban
what
on
he
those
did,
7
yes,
countries, he did not call
Right,
it.
you called it that. CNN called it that. MSNBC called it that. Woke destroyed people called it that. He never said that. Leftist ideology can't contend with ideas. They can only demonize.
A Muslim ban.
Right,
Isn't that
right.
true?
Guys, do you want to be like this human right here, or do you want to be like a tall, masculine billionaire? Make up your mind, guys. You can live one life. Vote Trump.
You know, on the
Isn't that
in
true?
the language, he did not call it that. But
So
that's
then
what
why
it is.
are you?
It's so bad. It's actually just, it's so bad. We are living with people who are enemies with reality itself, and they're living that way because their weakness has been placated by an ideology that tells them they're good people as a result of being weak.
Saying that he did.
Because I'm going based on his campaign.
And what's bad too is that they demonize strength as a result, because obviously embodiments of strength, whether that be Andrew Tate or Trump or any person, whether that be a man going to the gym, embodies how they're wrong by comparison. If a guy with a six-pack who's in amazing shape stands next to a fat, obese woman with blue hair, you have to lie about what your eyes tell you in order to agree with the left-wing ideology, and that humiliates them. That angers them deeply.
No, you just said
Promises.
he said
He said it
he
during the
did that.
campaign.
That's not what he said. He did though.
He said during the campaign he's gonna put a ban on.
But when
Muslims.
he
said
put
that.
the ban, he did not call it a Muslim ban.
Well, he didn't. Yeah.
But you
You're right.
said he did.
No, I said the rhetoric.
No,
was
you
in
said
the
he
campaign.
called it a Muslim ban.
during the campaign.
No. That's not. You added that since I proved you wrong. So are you okay with the ban?
No.
He did not. So you
These guys can't think. It's crazy.
want terrorists to come in and kill you?
If he's concerned with terrorists, the terrorists that attacked 9/11, how come he didn't put Saudi Arabia?
So had he put Saudi
You
Arabia?
kidding me? Why didn't he ban? Bro, you think we're afraid of like rich Muslims who like buying Louis Vuitton coming into this country? I don't think so.
And then you would have been satisfied with
No, I
it?
wouldn't be
So
satisfied.
you still wouldn't be happy. So why are you asking that question?
Because in the language of the executive order,
Data, statistics, and probabilistic distributions are oppression of these guys. The fact that you can look at a country and say, this country, according to the data, has a population in which 80% believe death to America is not only good, but what is required. Okay, yeah, we're going to prevent people from coming from that country. Oh my gosh, oppression. You use logic and data and mental discernment? Oh, that's crazy. You must be a bigot.
it talks about 9/11.
Remember,
What does that have
postmodernism, Marxism have a disdain for objective reality, objective truth, coherent narratives.
to do with the countries that are there? I mean, the people that came,
Because
the,
we
the
had
cause
a
9/11
9/11.
came from Saudi Arabia. They didn't come from.
But-
they didn't come from Iraq. They didn't come from Syria. They didn't come from these countries that are Yemen.
Why are
that were
you
banned.
bringing up? You said you would not have been happy had he added Saudi Arabia.
No, I
to
wouldn't
it.
be
So
happy
why-
at all because I think that
Is
he's
it
targeting-
wrong to protect your home first?
No. There's not. There's nothing wrong.
So
with
what
that.
is he doing wrong? He's protecting his home.
So to all of you great MAGA Republicans, I love you, you know that. If you want to win a signed hat
Based.
for
Well, if you knew that was the case, then why didn't he put Saudi Arabia?
What's wrong with
Maybe he has-
protecting?
maybe-
You see, the NPC script just broke again. Oh, that's crazy. But he admitted that he was wrong. He admitted that he would be unhappy if he did exercise a ban on Saudi Arabia. And then he just repeated the line again. They don't know how to think. They don't contend with ideas because objective reality isn't a priority to them. Only adherence to Marxism. This is ridiculous.
What's
Maybe
wrong?
he has like special interests that are.
What's
disrupt his,
wrong with protecting?
Look at this crazy freak. This little pencil of a man with deformed teeth, and he can't engage with logic or rationality. Maybe he has interest in Saudi Arabia. That's the reason he doesn't do this in this hypothetical straw man I've created. Yeah, I'm a college professor. The universities are destroyed. Get out while you can. The left is enemies with truth. They're enemies with objective frameworks. They're enemies with any field of objective inquiry because they replace actual truth that is linked objectively to comprehensible reality, and they replace it with inverted victimhood intersectionalist hierarchies. Oh, you're either right or wrong based on your identity. These people have broken brains. If you embody reality, you're a bad person. That's the reason they write headlines that say if you go to the gym as a man, you're a white supremacist. It's crazy. It's nuts. Same thing with capitalism. You become rich. Oh, the Rolling Stone's going to create an article that says, oh, you agree with David Duke. Isn't that crazy?
wrong with
Maybe he has,
protecting? What's
maybe
wrong?
he has like special interests that are.
What's
disrupt
wrong
his,
with protecting your
disrupt his
home?
hotel
Look, you just see the NPC script going in his head. You literally see it running.
interests or something.
What's wrong with?
He's not like responding to any coherent, cogent question that's been asked. He's not on topic. The NPC script just broke in his head. That was wild.
They're
What's
disrupt
wrong
his,
with-
Wild. This is what a weak man is capable of. This is the definition of weak men creating hard times. We're living through it right now. You're seeing it on the screen. History will study this.
We're protecting your
Disrupting his
home.
hotel interest or something.
What's wrong with protecting your home where you know where your enemy is?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I think
So he didn't do anything wrong then.
He didn't ban Texas, and we had somebody who did a terrorist act.
Listen to me.
A president who did a terrorist act against Iraq.
He's protecting
This is
his.
very, very feminine. This guy's very feminine. He's embodying how a lot of leftist men have been very sad, but have been mentally destroyed. They've been mentally wrecked. They're basically not men anymore because they can't interface with reality. They've sacrificed their ability to interface with reality on the altar of being false people. But the problem is, in the real world, you actually are just a fraud. And people can call you out as being a fraud because you can't engage with ideas, and what you tell yourself is literally wrong.
His homeland first.
Kissinger was
So he didn't do
is a
anything
war
wrong.
criminal. I didn't see him put Kissinger on the ban.
Where's Kissinger now?
Well, the United States.
Where's Kissinger?
Kissinger, Henry Kissinger.
Right? Is he still in government?
Well, he's a private citizen. He should be.
But he's not
in jail.
in government, right?
But he should be in jail.
He's not in government, right?
No, he's not in
I
government.
rest my case. Let's talk about what's happening. So you agree with me that he didn't do anything wrong by putting the ban on the 7 states?
No. There's no way. I agree.
What you're seeing is like a man-child that's feminized and unable to think logically or rationally, getting destroyed by, honestly, I'm just gonna be honest, a real man. That's what we're seeing here, and again, history is gonna study this.
I can agree with you,
Wow.
Your Honor, because you're like a good lawyer, that like a minority of people.
Well, is that? Did you rehearse that in the shower, or did you just come up with that? What? Oh, that was weird.
with you, Your Honor, because you're like a good lawyer.
Oh, the cringe. Oh no.
That like a minority of people are doing
You're such a good lawyer, you're getting me to admit that what I'm saying doesn't make sense by asking me logical questions based on rationality.
bad things. There's over 1 billion people that are Muslims, and the way he's talked about Muslims, he always cast this general during the campaign. Obviously now he's the president. He's only focusing on tweeting and supporting his daughter not getting booted out of Nordstrom, stuff like that, important things.
Bro, you see the NPC script breaking. Look at this guy. He's miserable. He's living a destroyed life. And he's attacking a masculine billionaire. He's trying to make fun of a masculine billionaire's life right now. A masculine billionaire president. Look at this guy. Just look at his face again. Look at this. What? Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. Yeah, these were the guys that would not reproduce 500 years ago.
That's amazing you're speaking that way. Let me ask, is there anything about the president that you admire?
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Oh, it's so good. I'm sorry. It's just hilarious to see a deformed, pencil of a man, old guy, not rich, not impressive. No men look up to him. He's not respected by anybody. Messed up teeth, saying there's nothing he admires or respects in a masculine billionaire president. Jesse essentially just got him to admit that he's broken. This is what the left is. Incredible. Amazing. Amazing. This is what's behind all of those Anon accounts, guys. We're living with people who are at war, not with you, not with Trump, but with reality itself. This guy's enemy is truth. And that's because he's been destroyed by the Marxist ideology. Guys, be sure to like and subscribe. This is incredible. I'm going to keep making these videos as the election is coming up because it's important to understand the dichotomy that exists between people who fundamentally are at war with reality and those who are not. Because the choice of nihilism or embracing individual identity and mental coherence will define the future of civilization. Like the video and subscribe.